All right, all right, all right. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to my live today. Just in case you don't know who I am, my name is Michelle Kanan. I'm also known as the Satisfied Wife, and I'm here with a very, very special human that is super dear to my heart. Her name is Regina. She, among the many amazing things about her, happens to be one of my favorite alumni from Goddess Wife School. And I invited her here today because just in case you don't know, doors are open for a new round of Goddess Wife School that is starting on February 22nd. And part of what I love to do every time I open registration is to invite alumni back to talk about their juicy experiences and to brag and to celebrate what kind of changes they've experienced in their relationship and what kind of wonderful ways that their man is showing up and how good they feel and like just everything, so many of the things that are possible inside of Goddess Wife School. And I could talk about it all day long, but there's like nothing as special or unique, I think, as having like somebody else that has been through it talk about their experience. So everybody, first of all, we have to make Regina feel super welcome because this is her very first Facebook Live ever. We're popping her cherry over here, and I love to pop goddesses cherries. So this is a new way that we're doing that. Regina, welcome, and thank you for popping your cherry with me on
Hi,
live.
I'm really excited. I feel safe in your arms. You've made it very romantic and lovely. So let's do it.
Well, I do love to seduce the women that I work with into doing fun and also like boundary expanding things in pleasure with me. So thank you for saying yes. And actually, for those of you that are watching, and if you're here live, just leave a comment so we know you're here. And if you're watching the replay, leave hashtag replay so that we know that you checked us out. So one of the really fun things that Regina is doing right now is she just decided she's just going to like say yes to everything that I'm like daring her and challenging her to do. So that's pretty different for you, isn't that, Regina?
Yeah, it's super different. I'm like a really pragmatic person. And so Michelle's always like, okay, but what if it goes right? And I'm like, Michelle, here's 17 ways how it's going to go wrong. And I know I do them all because that's my life. My life is to figure out, how things go wrong and how to, make sure they don't. And so that's how I naturally think. And so when I signed up for Goddess Wife School and then Inner Circle, it was all about, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to say yes to Michelle and I'm going to give it 100% and see what changes. Because if I'm stuck, that's because the way I'm normally doing things isn't serving me anymore. And so it's gotten me super far. I'm super successful in my career. I love my relationship, but if I'm stuck, then I'm stuck. And so what do you do to change things is you do something you haven't done before. So I just say yes. Michelle says do this, and I'm like, all right, let's go.
And I love that we have that level of trust and also that like level of adventure and mutual respect in the work that we're doing together. And that's why I knew that you were like the perfect person that I wanted to invite on for this live, because what we're talking about today is how to get unstuck and also through that get turned on again in your relationship. So would you mind sharing with the ladies that are watching, like what are some of the ways that you felt stuck in your relationship before and now some of the magic that you're finding back with your man?
Yeah, absolutely. So when I joined Goddess Wife School, I just gotten back with my boyfriend. We were together 5.5 years. It was great. But it was like a very separate relationship. We were very much two selfish people, radically selfish people, living their like independent lives. And it got to a point where I wanted something he couldn't give me. And like, we just went our separate ways. It was very amicable. And we separated for about a year. And then we had just gotten back together when Goddess Wife School started. And, we were really committed to having a different kind of relationship than the one we had experienced before. But we're naturally falling into our old habits because I'm in my 30s, he's in his 40s now. Like we're habit building people. And so we'd hit these moments and it would be extra crazy because we had 5.5 years of experience before this. So we were both in a brand new relationship and in an old relationship at the same time. And so Jessie De Silva, who I know you interviewed yesterday, is one of my best friends from college. And she was like, you have to meet Michelle. She was like, you got to meet Michelle. She's going to change the way you think about things. She's going to change the way you come and show up in a relationship. And that in turn is going to change the energy. And the thing Michelle taught me, which has been like a emoji moment has been that I work in finance, which is a very masculine dominated field. It's all about getting it done fast and getting it done right. It's about not showing emotion. It's about, having the answers to everything. It's about, and it's, as a woman in finance, it's about claiming your space and being super territorial about it, because you'll just get stomped on. And I realized a lot of it was like, I was showing up in my relationship like I was showing up to a presentation. I'd go to my boyfriend and I'd be like, hey, these are the 6 things I need from you, and I need them by this deadline. And he doesn't respond to that. And it was also like a weird energy. My relationship isn't a boardroom, right? Like, that's the thing. And so the thing I got from Goddess Wife School and all of my work with Michelle has been, I'm a super feminine person, but I've learned so much to really tap into my masculine energy to be successful in a male dominated field. And so Michelle and I are constantly working on finding the balance between masculine and feminine, especially in my relationship. So how do I, to like quote Michelle, lean back and like and soften and know it's okay to be soft and it's okay to be vulnerable and it's okay to do all of these things, and how that changes a total energetic shift in my relationship when I can do that, when I can bring a little bit more of a feminine energy to the space.
I love that. I love so much that you're sharing. And one of the things that I think is really special is like, I first of all, I totally like we totally jive together, like most of us, so many women, like we've grown up in a patriarchal society, like in a way where everything like makes sense for men, or we've worked in like male dominated industries. Like I was in corporate marketing for over a decade before I pieced out and had like my Saturn returns and like changed my entire life and started doing this kind of work, and it's so easy to be in that energy and that mindset and that training, as we're trying to like climb the corporate ladder, or make more money or be more successful, and we don't realize like that going into that way of being every day, it just starts to become this like second nature, and you're just like sort of always in it, right? And so oh my god, there's somebody that's like trying to spam our feed. Boo, screw you, man. And so well, I mean, I like your emojis, so I don't actually care, you can spam us. So right, okay, so this is like an example of that, like anal Michelle, like masculine Michelle would be like, no, like this is wrong, this is bad, we have to fix this. And now I'm just like, you know what, you're playing a good emoji game right now, whoever you are. Like you can just put all these like hot sexy emojis in our feed right now, like that there can be just more play and more fun and more spontaneity, and that we don't have to like figure out the problem all the time or figure out the solution all the time. And when we're in a relationship with a masculine, this is so important, because when we don't just jump into that mode, our partner gets to show up in that kind of way, and the dynamic gets to shift, and we get to feel like his creativity and his like powerful energy, and then we get to play with that, and then he gets to play with that, and then things get like really really juicy. And I know that like the live topic is about like how to get unstuck and how to get more turn on. And one of the reasons that I don't do like couples counseling, and why it's like Goddess Wife School and I work with women, is we have so much power inside of us, like so much opportunity inside of us to play in this new way that is actually just about like feeling more pleasure and just like chilling the fuck out a bit and just enjoying life more and having a different relationship to our bodies. And what an amazing ripple effect it has on our partnerships as well.
It's so funny you say that, because like, and we've talked about this on our like one-on-ones, but like my boyfriend's constant, I don't want to say critique, but like comment when we would talk about like how we're showing up in the relationship has been like, I want you to be more authentic. Like I want to see the authentic you, which is highs and lows and emotions and all these things. And I realized, especially through working through Goddess Wife School, that so much of what I was showing up in was this like masculine energy. And what he was asking for was to see the feminine side, to see the softness and to see the vulnerability and to see it all. And that's what he was flagging as inauthentic. And like, and as I have shown up more in like a space, which is sometimes messy, right? Like it's also like not all perfect, but like I've shown him, I need you here. I've shown him I can get sad. I've shown him I'm not constantly just trying to please everyone, but I'm also like taking the time to own my space and be like, I love you. I need to go take a bath for 45 minutes. Like, I'm going to go do that. He is showing up and seeing that that's really my authentic self. And that is really owning the fact that like my feminine energy is really part of who I am, no matter how successful the masculine energy that I have has gotten me so far.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm so happy that I mean, for a million reasons why we're talking about this, but I know like even for myself, sometimes I felt like my energy is like too intense, or, I'm too loud, or I'm too like in your face. Or I was talking with a girlfriend about this and she was just like, you're not pastel, like you're jewel tones, and like hello, like and sometimes it makes me feel like, oh, am I feminine enough, am I doing it right? And it's just like, fuck that, it's like, how do whoever we are, right? I'm not trying to like put us into some kind of like apron in the kitchen, and like now we have to be pink and girly and like talk softly like this. Like, no, if that's not our expression of femininity, fine, it's not about being that. But how do we like reclaim or even explore, right? Some of us, that's been like beat out of us like our whole lives. How do we make a connection to that kind of energy and like our expression, and how do we play with our version of it? Because the other thing too is like, our man was attracted to us like for who we are and what we are. They don't want us to suddenly like go totally different too, but they love to play with this new way of showing up. And one of the things that you're saying, Regina, is like the less that you have a problem with it, the more you let it be messy and let it be emotional and just like let it be whatever it is, the less your guy has a problem with it too. And the more he's like hungry for that vibe also.
Right. And the reality is, and I think we were talking about this at the end of Goddess Wife School, like my favorite thing about Goddess Wife School is, yes, like it creates a connection to your partner, but it creates a connection to your partner by having a better relationship with yourself. And
Yes.
so the reality is, like, when you can tap into who you really are, like be it, too much or magenta or pastel. Like some people live in a life of pastel and like I'm here for it. I also
Totally.
am a jewel tone, if you can't tell. But like but like the reality is, if like you're a magenta and your person is like a black, when you really have tapped into who you are and you've really experienced what it is to be authentic, he's either going to show up for you or you're going to outgrow it. And there's so much power in both of those. And like I
Yeah.
was really lucky because my man showed up and has celebrated all of my very small wins when he understands them. But
Oh, wait,
like
wait. They're not small. Hold on. You do that. You do that. And then I have to call you out. Like Regina's just like, oh, just this like amazing dream thing happened, but it's just like nothing. Like you've had some
little things.
really big wins, okay?
I've had some too. He celebrated my super big wins, but he's also celebrated my small wins. And
Yes.
like I've been really lucky in that respect. But the reality is, when I finished Goddess Wife School, and I just remember us talking about this because I was coming up to a big conversation with him and I was nervous about it, and it all went fine. P.S. But I remember you said, Regina, like you came out of Goddess Wife School. The reality is, if he doesn't show up to that conversation the way you need him to, you'll grow and you'll go on. She was like, Michelle was like, what's the worst that happens is he doesn't show up and you've had a just better discovery of what you need and you've owned what you need. And like, that's the point of Goddess Wife School, right? Like, yes, it creates a better partnership with your partner, but it creates a better partnership with your partner because you show up as who you are truly and not
Like
who
you're
society
the highest embodiment of who you want
your
to be.
highest embodiment. You hit your goddess embodiment, right? Like, and
That's
by
right.
showing up as a goddess as often as you can, and even just having the intention to show up as a goddess every day, like you heighten your relationship because he can meet you where you are and you're not
Yes.
making yourself small.
Yes,
Like that's
yes.
kind
Write
of how
my,
I
write
feel
my
about it, right?
program page for me, Regina. Just rewrite the whole thing for me. That's like exactly it. Like that's the vibe, right? That it's like, you get to elevate. And I love that you said that even if you have the intention, right? Like, because just like Jessie was saying in her talk with me yesterday, she's like, I didn't do almost any of the work the first round. I just like absorbed some of. So even if you like have the intention, right, and that's in your awareness, and that's like what you desire, even that starts this like chain of events and this ripple effect, so that like you can really see like what happens when you step up. And what I love about this program is the women that come, it's because deep down you know that your man wants to step up too, and he does want to meet you in that place. And so speaking of how to get unstuck, the best way for those of you that are just like frustrated or resentful or like have these limiting beliefs that my man will never, and he's just not that kind of guy, and he's not romantic, and he doesn't see these things, is for you to do the growth that you want to do. But the reason this is Goddess Wife School is I know a lot of women get scared that like if they do personal development work, a lot of them feel like they grow away from their partner. And so, because relationships are so important to me, doing this in a way that like invites your partner in, like lets him know what's going on, like brings him on the journey, things that you can do with him, rituals, all that kind of stuff.
And I gotta tell you, like, since Goddess Wife School, the growth I've done, he's just been so excited about it, right? Like, even when I don't involve him, even when I just do stuff on my own, like I loved like there's the self-care module, which I'm butchering the name, but I'm gonna call it the self-care module.
Sure.
And like that's all about me, right? Like that's all about me. And I literally the other weekend was like, I'm gonna go. He left, and I was like, I'm just gonna go take a bath. And he was like, hey, what's going on? Are you okay? And I was like, dude, I'm in the tub. I'm totally fine. And he was like, I love this about you. And he was just like, I love that I could leave you, go see my friends for 2 hours. And I'm like, yeah, dude, I'm fine. I'm gonna take that bath and I'm gonna do that. And he came home and brought me a friggin' cheese plate and a glass of wine.
Oh,
So like,
yeah.
so like that's the thing is that like that's how I feel is that God, like the growth I did in Goddess Wife School brought us closer together because I found so much of what I needed in myself. And like that's so that when I really need him as like my partner to show up where I have like all of these where I have deficits, he gets to show up and he gets to be my hero, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly it. This is like what I'm talking about, right? And it's like, those like cheese and wine, which is just like a turn on for me. Like it's so easy to be like, oh, it's a little thing, but it's just like part of this whole new energy that happens in your relationship. And it creates like honestly all these opportunities for your man to do things for you that it like sparks his creativity. It sparks these like, okay, she's a goddess now. So like, how do we treat a goddess? Like, yeah, we bring her wine and cheese in the tub. Like, yeah, we trust her when she says that she's okay. Like, yeah, we know she's going to come to me like when she needs something and I want to be there for her. Like, that's the fucking vibe. And I love every woman in the program, like how you find your expression of the goddess, how you bring that into like your relationship dynamic. It's so powerful.
And I'll brag. I was doing the thing Michelle hates where I was kind of like putting myself down. I was singing at like a piano karaoke bar a couple weeks ago, and he took a video and I said like, oh my God, I can't watch this. I'm so bad. And he literally goes, I'm your biggest fan. Like, that's like, what a quote for him to say, like, I'm your biggest fan. And he just took like these sexy photos of me and he was like, you were amazing. Don't do that to yourself. So like, not only that, but like then to get the support on the other side when I'm having a moment of like goddess, smaller goddess, mini goddess.
Goddess doubt.
Goddess doubt. Little goddess doubt. And I'm just like, a little angel. My wings got a little smaller. He's like, nope. I've seen where you can be. I've seen your highest self, and I'm going to bring you back up there.
I love that because you finally, not only do you discover it for yourself, but you show the man that you love, like you let him really see you. And then, and just what you're saying, right? Like, of course he wants you to be your happiest, your shiniest, your best, like your most radiant, because he just gets the benefits of that. I don't know if you saw, because I know that you were offline, Regina, but somebody's boyfriend just surprised them and bought a VIP spot in this round of Goddess Wife School for them. And isn't that amazing?
That's amazing. That's a Valentine's Day present.
Right? And he wrote me this email and he was just like, it feels selfish to give her this gift because I know how good it's going to be for me. Right. And like, that's the vibe. Like that is just 100% that co-creative. Like, I want you to be your best and you want me to be my best, because that's how we like really make beautiful things together in our relationship. So, we have to go soon because we actually have like our call coming in a couple minutes, but
that went so fast.
I know. I told you this was going to be fun. Now you're going to do lives all the time.
Now I'm going to be like, yeah, let's live right now. Bye.
Regina, is there anything that you want to share with any women that are considering doing Goddess Wife School, or maybe they feel like, am I a goddess? Like, is this for me and my relationship? Is there anything you might want to tell them?
Yes, I will say many things. One is that every woman is a goddess. Like, I don't believe that anyone is not a goddess. I believe that maybe it's buried a little more deep down, but like, I believe everyone is a goddess. And so if the word goddess turns you on, then like, I think sign up.
Or if
Two,
it triggers you too, right?
yeah, or if it triggers you, right? Because this was my two was like, I really say, like, if you sign up, like, just say yes. It's so hard. And like the doubts come and you're like, this is stupid, and you hear it. But like if you can push through it and just say yes, and like Michelle constantly says to me, like, what's the worst that happens? And like I think about that all the time. And like nothing in Goddess Wife School that she asks you to do has a worst, like there's no worst, right? Like there's nothing that's even remotely concerning. And like if you can just say yes and give into the moment, like it's just gonna change your life because it's gonna change your mind. And our mind is like the hardest thing to rewire. And Goddess Wife School is really a place to rewire. And if you feel like you don't have the time, like I can tell you, I couldn't show up to one of the Zooms pretty much because like I work crazy hours, Michelle knows, but like I got so much just from the modules. I got a lot from the Facebook group. Like the other thing when you're doing this work that's different, that's challenging you, because I don't want to say it's hard because it's not, it's actually really fun work. But when you're challenged, is like you feel alone, right? Like, especially when you're making change. And like what Michelle really does that I've always really deeply appreciated is she creates a circle of women of support. And like, I'm not even, Michelle will tell you, like an active Facebook person in the slightest, but you feel the energy. My phone keeps lighting up and I'm like, look at all these women supporting other women doing, I don't even want to call it work, but like challenging themselves together. And like really, and like that's really inspiring in a world that's so dominated by masculine energy. To have an energy and a circle of women supporting you and holding you up will help you get through the challenging moments. And so I would say do it. Like it's so much fun. And like, and it's as much or as little work as you want to put in it, and you're gonna feel something regardless.
Oh, I love that. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm like half selfish. Obviously, I'm radically selfish when I do these interviews because every time you talk and I'm just like, oh yeah, that. Oh yeah, it is so good. Oh, I can't wait. And I'm literally, I'm so excited. Regina is going to be back in this round of Goddess Wife School, so you can get to know her. And if you have any questions, you can message me. I can connect you with her. But if you're considering joining us in this round, we start on February 22nd, but I have a special 12-month, $180 payment plan that is expiring on Monday. And this is the first time I'm ever doing it because I just want as many women as possible to feel like it's accessible and that it's like a total easy yes for you, because like I just have zero doubts like about how powerful this program is, how much it'll change your relationship, but truly like how you feel about yourself, about your energy, like exploring what it is like to soften, to lean back, and to just like receive all of the things that maybe you think that you want, but even more than you could possibly imagine. Cause like once you start doing this program, like the way that your man shows up for you, the way he responds to you, like, and not just your man, like we're talking about the masculine. So like financial abundance and job opportunities and like so many other things start to happen. It's just such magic. So I hope you'll join me and Regina in this round. You can go to goddesswifeschool.com for more info, or you can just shoot me a message or comment here and I will answer all of your questions, especially all you lurkers that are lurking. And I know that you're just like, is it for me? Come talk to me, come in my world. Regina, thank you so much for being here and popping your cherry with us. And thank you, everybody. And I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going live like every day to talk about all the things, to share more alumni stories, like just to get you pumped. I'm so turned on. This is going to be an amazing round of Goddess Wife School. And I can't wait to see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye.